Byron, are you in here? Yeah, you are.
I
I see
am.
you. I see you. What are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Do you got your camera on or no? Let me put my camera on.
My camera is not on.
Okay.
And it's because the iPad is sitting sideways.
Uh-oh.
It would look weird.
Uh-oh. The
What?
sideways tablet.
Yep. That's how it fits in the case.
Hmm.
Wow. I could turn it on. You see? See?
There he is.
Yep.
You're sideways.
Yep. I'm sideways.
I wonder if I could rotate your camera here to make it so I think I can.
I don't know. You
Yeah, I
can?
did. Yeah, I did it in
Oh,
OBS.
okay.
Look at that.
Okay. Cool. On my end, I'm sideways, so
I see you. Everybody on YouTube can see you, just the way it
that's
should
fine.
be.
Let me adjust the.
That's pretty cool. I gave it a little spinneroonie. How do you like that, folks? Nothing's impossible. Let's make it a little bigger. There he is.
Anyway,
Yeah, that
so
worked good. Let Byron get all situated there.
I wasn't expecting to be on camera.
Yeah, well, there you are.
That's the light. Just got my flamethrower order in from Germany today.
Yes.
That took 6 weeks to get here.
6 weeks from Germany.
6 weeks. Mm-hmm. 6 weeks from Germany.
That's not bad, actually. 6 weeks. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is 6 weeks. It takes 2 weeks to get a package from the UK, or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's doing a week and a half now, usually for me. So, yeah. And then I just won some auctions on eBay that I've been watching for a week. I've been lurking in the shadows, and I sniped them with 20 seconds to go.
You did.
Got them all. Mm-hmm. I got me 4 M48 patents from Battlefront, which are out of print.
Yep.
And I got me 3 more M109 artillery pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to get as many of the out of print stuff from the Vietnam, Fate of a Nation stuff as I can. And I've been accomplishing a good mission. As soon as they get on eBay, I'm watching them like a hawk. So,
Mm-hmm.
but now if they come out with plastic stuff in the years to come, great, I'll buy it then. But until that point, I'll deal with out of print stuff. So I'm kind of getting back into. I mentioned in the chat earlier that doing the Necromunda stuff, and I'm gonna probably get the Ash Waste guys, and my friend Wendell's gonna get the Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Necromunda group.
Yep. I figured that.
Yeah, we've been watching them. We've been going up to the store on Sundays. Sundays has been a good day. It's kind of quiet up there. And there's been I would say a group of about 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
Come in there and play Necromunda. And we were going to get the Kill Team stuff, the new Shadow Vault. I don't know if you heard or seen that new box set.
Shadow Vault? No, I haven't seen that. What's that about?
So it's the Kasserkin Imperial Guard Elite Infantry versus these ancient Necron agents.
Huh.
And they look really cool. And so I got to go to my storage and get my Necrons. I've been getting some stuff to slowly get back into working on those. I know your brother Jesse's got a bunch of Necrons, and yeah. So Wendell does not have them yet, but I kind of want Wendell to play with me, so I'm like kind of building the army up so he can play with me. So
as you do,
yeah,
as we all do.
Mm-hmm.
That spare army, just in case. You never know.
Yeah.
Jesse has the
So,
Necrons. He got them basically for his son, who's
oh,
6
okay.
years old. So he's going to have an army to play with. He's only 6, but man, now he's all good to play. How you doing, Kyle?
That's,
Hey, if it works, boys. I mean, you
hey,
got both
Kyle.
them armies young. How's it going, bud?
Oh, it's going well. How are you?
Oh, it's just getting home from work.
Yeah, me too. I got home a little bit ago, but so want to get back into other stuff in there. Okay, good. Yeah, we're just talking about kind of giving an update on what I've been getting into recently since my departure from online RPGing. But I hope to get back in it soon.
You do.
But
You're gonna play in my Traveler game for sure.
yeah, I had my character sheet right over there. Like, there was a group that was going to play Traveler at the game store,
Mm-hmm.
and
Fell through.
we rolled up characters, and we're like, hey, we're going to play next weekend, next Friday night, and like the DM just never showed up, never called us, and we think a
Kind
girl
of
was in,
sucky.
well, yeah, or the DM or GM, we know him personally, like he's not something we don't, but my friend Wendell was like, yeah, that's typical Greg, so. But so I had this character rolled up, and I know that Curtis is gonna be like, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. but it's a good character, and it's one of the better ones I've rolled, and he's not a fighter. I'll put it that way.
What I'll probably do, this will be my first go with Traveler, but what I'll probably do, since you're all made up already, I'll slip you into the campaign after it starts, because normally when you create characters in Traveler, everybody does it as together, because you
Right.
got to develop these relationships and the skills that you have at the very end. I have to give out some skills so that I know somebody has the important skill for this particular campaign. So I'll do that, and then shortly thereafter I'll introduce your character almost like an NPC, but you're not. You're actually going to be already made and already good to go.
I'll make a character for your campaign just in case.
Back up, just in case.
Yeah, I'll back up.
Back up to the backup.
Yep, back up to the backup. Oh, and Kyle, I messaged you on Discord about something.
I just saw it, and I do have the Castles and Crusaders Player's Handbook. I got it in PDF form. I got that a while back.
Probably this one.
Is that a
Yeah.
Pathfinder book?
No, this
It's
is
a new system. Castles and Crusaders.
this is a different game. It's actually been around a long time.
Yeah, it's up to what, 7th edition or 5th edition or something like that.
Let me look. Well, the eighth
So,
the eighth printing of the player book just released now, but the 2017. I thought it was older than that. That must be this particular book. Where's the earliest date on this? Go ahead, Byron.
I was going to ask you guys, did you see the newest supplement expansion for Pathfinder? The Gears and Guns?
Oh, where have you been? That's an old one.
Is it?
It came out months ago.
Well, months. Well, I mean, I just saw it like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And because the local stores have been slow to restock their shelves. So when they get something new and it's like, oh, there's something new, it may, But anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. It kind of reminded me that a little bit like War Machine, like kind of where
Yeah.
they're going with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's an option book that if you want to take your campaign in that direction, because it's steampunky,
Mm-hmm.
With gears and automatons and constructs and gear type creatures, you can add that and have firearms too.
I saw that too.
It introduces 2 new classes. One is the inventor, and the other one is the gunslinger. It has new options and feats for the other classes as well, and all kinds of new things you can do for your game. If you want a more steampunky feel to it, you can take it there.
Cool.
That's what that's about. I think Rachel bought that book. I think she has it.
I immediately thought of Ramirez and what kind of weapon upgrades he could get.
Yeah, you did. You did. You did.
So
This is why I think you're going to be great for Traveler and my sci-fi games, because you think more like that than a fantasy type.
I do. But I had a lot of fun playing the fantasy stuff. I don't think like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you did really good with it.
Yeah. So
I get a phone call, guys. I'll be back.
All right, Kyle. Is my camera working there? Yeah, it is.
yeah, I see you. So the house is
Yeah,
The
tell me
house
about
is
the house.
delivered. It's 12 feet by 32 feet.
Okay.
16-inch studs on the inside, gable roof. It's got 2 windows in the front, one door in the front, one door on the side, a window in the back. I'll put the air conditioner unit in the back window. I'll have a 10-foot by 4-foot wide shower bathroom combo, and I'll have a 10-foot by 8-foot bedroom and a little kitchenette, and then 22 feet of space.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it cost me $13,500, and it's rent to own, so I just pay on it every month, a set price. And I'm my extra money that I earn a month, I just use it to make it into a livable space. And then when I get that completed and paid down a little bit, I'm gonna buy a piece of property and then move it to the property. That's my plan. Because the rent here is exuberantly expensive.
So you have it with your
yeah.
parent on your parents' property right now, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you get before you actually settle in, temporarily. But are you going to do that somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm going to. Basically, I'm using this time that I'm here in Pensacola. Probably stay up here in Northwest Florida somewhere, but at my parents' property right now, they have the land. So basically, it allows me to build it and furnish it and get it all ready. And then when time comes, I can get my own property and move it, because it's not going to cost much to move it again.
Yeah.
So, and it's this kind of solution is becoming very popular here in Florida, because housing's too expensive and rent's too expensive. We're talking minimum $1,500 to $1,700 for one bedroom apartment. So
Wow.
It's just not feasible. It's not practical either. So my parents have been very cooperative, and them getting up in age, it kind of works out where I can be near them in case there's an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
That's pretty good. I like that little house you got there.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I had it.
Sent me pictures.
Colored. Yeah, I had it painted that color to match my parents' house. That's my parents' house is green like that. So
You got it to match their house.
yeah.
That's good thinking.
Yeah. My mom was impressed with my forethought on that.
Yeah.
So right now I'm staying at my friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm renting a room at my friend's house while I go to work, and then get the money saved up each paycheck to go work on it little by little. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's great.
mm-hmm.
My sister wants to get something like that. That's why I kind of took an interest in it. I think it's a great idea.
Well, I tell you what happened for me. I don't know what the codes are up where you're at, but down here, it was the retail place where I bought it was a place called Premier Building, and they were running a special, and their special was that for the month of September, you only have to put $150 down to place an order. And they built it in 5.5 weeks. And they didn't build it here in Florida. They built it in Alabama and had it shipped down, and that was free.
Wow.
Yeah. So try to have her, try to look for a deal like that. See if these places up there in Pennsylvania or wherever are. It could be in a neighboring state, and it's within us, 100-mile radius. Like the place I bought it was like, we'll deliver free within, 50 miles of where you bought it. So that's kind of how they get away with that free stuff. But let's see here.
Who was in the chat with me earlier? Oh, Skarner. Wow. Scar.
So, but yeah, when I get everything done, it's going to take me 3 to 4 months to get everything done, and I'll have I'm going to have Omni lights above, and I'll have like a place where I can have airbrushing, a studio, and I'll start this is all part of my YouTube channel plan.
Yes.
And get to start working on stuff, and like the latest thing I've done, I was posting some pictures in the local gaming forum here, Level Up Gaming in Pensacola, Florida, and in their Facebook group. And one of the things I shared was how to build. If your audience can see this, I'm working on this Tamiya model here, this Pershing for bolt action or 48 scale 28 millimeter World War II gaming or Korean War. But one of the things that confuses a lot of people is the tracks. The tracks are all plastic, and they're multi-piece tracks. So what you do is you do this. You build your hull first. Okay? You build the hull first, which this is actually 4 pieces. This is one big piece. It's a metal hull, one big piece. And then what you do is after you cut your wheels out, okay, all these are separate pieces to begin with. So what you do is you cut your wheels out and you glue them with white glue to the hull, and then you build your tracks around that. And the white glue secures the wheels long enough to where you can put your tracks on. Use the model cement, let it dry, and you pull it off, and now your tracks are one piece assemblies with the wheels. So it makes it a lot easier to paint the wheels, because that's one of the difficult things with painting tanks is getting the brush in the crevices and stuff like that. So that's just one of the techniques I recently shared, and I want to do stuff like that for my channel. I don't want to like. I kind of want to make little mauling tips and painting tips. Little short things. Nothing long.
Yeah.
Because I know people's attention spans are short, and
very.
Unless you like me, and you got a day job where you can kind of listen to YouTube, I mean, it's I'm aware of that. I'm blessed and having a good job. So
there you are. Makes it all possible. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for your channel and doing this stuff.
One cool thing was the Level Up Gaming. Did this for me. I don't know if you're aware, in the Battlefront BMP box, they give you both options for the BMP1 and the BMP2, so you can make either or. One of the interesting things in that box, though, is they give you 2 upper hulls with 2 different turrets and 2 different weapon systems, so you can make either or. But they only give you 1 lower hull. So I had the local resin printer guy at the store that's affiliated with the store. He printed me out these lower hulls in resins, and they fit the leftover kit parts in the Battlefront box. So I'm able to make instead of buying 3 more new boxes just to get 15 BMP1s, I had them print 15 hulls, so I can get make the rest of it work.
Yeah,
so
that's smart. That's smart. I know what you're talking about because I have the BMPs.
Yeah. And so
don't give away all your tricks.
No, it's not. No, no.
Save it for your channel.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, though.
So it'll be stuff like that I'm kind of discussing. Oh, here's my character. I'll go over this character with you.
You can.
I have it right here. Yeah, I'll just hit some highlights here. His strength is 7.
Okay. Wow.
Dexterity is 11.
Okay.
Endurance is 7. Intelligence is 11. Education is a 10. And social is 11.
Wow.
He's an aristocrat.
Okay.
I went through several tours with him, and
What'd you get? What happened? Get your legs blown off?
no, I was able to just basically be like I wasn't like a high ranking. I never advanced. I kept failing my advancement rolls.
Yeah.
So I just stayed like a mid-level bureaucrat, aristocrat type, But I accumulated a nice chunk of change,
Important.
and I was able to get a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You don't own it yet, I'm sure.
no, it was I rolled it.
You own it?
I believe so. I'll have to look at here. He's Ramirez's great descendant. Anyway.
Great. Yeah. That's a long way.
Yeah. Let's see. I got traveler's benefits. I got a laser rifle and a cutlass. And I got all the skills to wield those things, and I've got 280,000 credits.
Okay.
So I think the GM took my ship away.
Probably.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not giving you a ship.
Well, normally you can't afford it.
But I'm a bureaucrat and an aristocrat, so I can
Yeah, maybe.
I could suave some people into giving me a little scout ship.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't see my ship here, so on this piece of paper. So
I don't know.
But
I only created a character myself twice, and I never had that happen. But my understanding is that one of the premises of the game is that you, as a group, you start off with a ship, and you just working your way in various adventures to help pay it off because it's so expensive. Unless it's maybe a smaller ship, maybe you could, but you don't want to mess with a little tiny boat and tug. But I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see when we get there.
it'll be fun. Did you hear about the Transformers RPG? It finally hit the print. It's at Miniature Market.
Oh, it's finally out.
It's finally out, and
What do you think?
I'm probably going to get it just to have it.
Yeah.
But you would love this. You can't be a Decepticon.
No?
No, and I thought that was really, like that takes half the fun out of it. Not
Yeah,
being
it does.
I mean, like I love being a Decepticon.
Now I can't be
So-
Starscream. No.
I know, right? But I think if I ran that game, I would try and incorporate that element into it. Even though I'd have to probably reverse engineer the game a little bit to make some stats.
Yeah, that's true. It would be a little different, wouldn't it? It's not really you're not really heroes then at that point.
No heroes.
Hmm.
But my thing is, I was watching this video recently about it kind of goes in depth about the game, and he's got the guy that I was watching. I can't remember his name in his channel, and I apologize for not remembering his channel, but he's got a stutter, and I thought that was part of his like gimmick at first, but then I realized that it's a stutter. And but he was going over it, and he was very informative of the game mechanics and stuff, and it uses the Essence 20 engine I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that.
Nope.
But how you transform or what you transform into is based on your origin story that you come up with. You can have two transformable
Modes?
yeah, two modes. And I think that if what I was envisioning is that if I get this game, which I'm probably likely going to do, the game I would run, or the campaign I would run, we would be on cyber. It would be a Cybertron campaign. Now it could be. Now the question would be: is it going to be pre evacuation to Earth, or is it going to be post evacuation? Because post evacuation to Earth would be, the main characters we all love aren't there on Cybertron, so there'd be maybe a little bit more freedom to develop a storyline. But from what the gentleman was in the video was telling me or showing, was that the book comes with preset characters and a small story to put them in just to play the game.
Yeah.
And so
Try it out and see how it works. Learn.
yeah,
That'd be
So-
interesting.
I'm probably gonna get it just to have it,
Yeah.
at least.
Huh. Transformers. They're the same people that make G.I. Joe, right?
G.I. Joe and Power Rangers, yeah.
Power Rangers, yeah. So that's probably the system they're talking about.
Yeah, the Essence 20 engine.
Transformers. Dun, 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 dun.
If you want some good ideas, or if you just want to entertain yourself, Netflix has a 3-part series of Transformers that is really good.
You've
Made
been
in the last 3 years.
You've been watching it heavy.
I have.
Getting in the mood.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing, like, according to the canon storyline, after the Autobots escaped Cybertron, we all know that Megatron, Starscream, and Shockwave and the Decepticons pursued them, and there was this a battle in space, and then the ships collided, and they when they fell to Earth and were in the volcano, and 4 million years later they wake up.
Yeah.
And then that's where our story takes place in the cartoon. Well, before Megatron left Earth, or left Cybertron, he put Shockwave in charge of the Decepticon faction on Cybertron. So I don't know if you remember, Shockwave was the one with this that could transform into a gun, but he had that Cyclops. He was like the scientist inventor for research and development for the Decepticons.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved him. He would probably be the main antagonist in my if I went ran a campaign, because I'm thinking I would do it either like right after the Decepticons and the Autobots left, or maybe upon their return before, that's I think that'd be kind of cool. But it'd be kind of neat to work Prime in there. But Prime got killed. Yeah, Prime got killed, and then he was resurrected. So I mean, there's lots of things you can do with it. I think it's going to come down to people who want to play it have to have a love for it, like I do. If they don't have a love for it, it's not going to work.
For sure. That's the deal right there. You have to. It's just like with Power Rangers and stuff. It's not some generic thing. This is based on that IP. It's a thing.
Speaking of G.I. Joe,
Uh-oh.
I gotta interrupt you. I'm sorry. Did you see my friend Julia in her mistress outfit? You need to go right now on Facebook and look at my friend Julia. In her, she just posted the picture, I think, yesterday. You're friends with her on Facebook, yeah. Go check her out. She's down at Fantasy Fest in Key West right now, doing naughty things.
What's her name again?
Julia. Julia Aline. L-A or A-L-E-N-E.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got confused. Yeah, she's always doing things like that, though.
I know. She's a little, she's right up your alley. Well,
This is how I vacay.
Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. You'll see the desk. You'll see the GI Joe mistress outfit she's got on. It's pretty cool.
Yep, I see it. Yeah, that's pretty good. She takes a good pick, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we went to the Birthday Massacre concert in September here a few weeks back. It was pretty good.
The what?
We went to a concert. We met up before the concert and went to the concert together. Not together, but hanging out because we're old friends. And it was a good concert. It was a Birthday Massacre. It's a, I would call them like industrial emo kind of stuff, but it was a lot of fun. Synthwave and industrial mixed together. That's how I would put it. So, and then I went to KMFDM the night after that, and I was tired. 2 concerts in 2 nights. I was tired. This old man was tired.
2 concerts in 2 nights, yeah.
Yeah.
Gripes.
So. So I have a story for you.
You do? Let's hear it.
Story is I was playing in the local Level Up Gaming's big market garden game they hold every year, and I was very impressed with the amount of attention to detail in the composition of forces. They actually went through all the forces that were in the entire operation of Market Garden on both sides.
Yeah.
And you could get to pick from a list which force you wanted to play, and they already made it for you basically. Like they gave you a point allotment for that force.
Where was this? The store?
Yeah, the table was 70 something feet long.
70 feet. Where did they have it? 70 feet.
It was in. Yeah, they have like 40 something 6x4 tables there.
Wow.
And the entire like 3 bridges and the terrain and the towns all in between were all simulated in 1/100 scale.
Yeah.
And me and Wendell were.
That's a lot of work.
Eindhoven. We were near Eindhoven, holding 2 towns north of Eindhoven, and I ended up blowing one of the bridges, but didn't fully blow it up. I damaged it, and I believe this battle and the pictures that are going to be featured in some kind of acknowledgement by Battlefront, because it's the biggest and most accurate portrayal of the entire campaign.
Wow.
Or the battle that they put on. They put it on every year. So.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they have all the bridges. They have from Eindhoven. They had the town of Eindhoven and all the way up to Arnhem. Everything. I have some pictures of it. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you. You must have took at least one picture, Brian, right? Byron?
Yeah, I did.
Gripes.
I did. Yeah, it was an intense battle. Me and Wendell were fighting. We both each had a Panzer Grenadier company.
Yeah.
And we were fighting the 101st Airborne.
Yep.
Or the 82nd Airborne. I can't remember which one, but just north of Eindhoven, we were fighting them, and all the gliders were coming in, and they were piling up on top of each other, and they were taking casualties, and it was pretty intense little battle there.
Yeah. That would be fun. How long did it take to play that out?
There were 20, about either 20, 25 people running forces down the length of this table.
Wow.
And it wasn't just linear. It wasn't like a square. That it was actually, the table was designed to simulate like the cutouts of all the, so it was not even. So you could walk in kind of in between, not in between the tables, but they weren't symmetrical in their layout.
Yeah.
But so it took about 12 hours. And me and Wendell held the front for 7 hours before 30th Corps got to the front and advanced on us.
Man.
And we did an orderly retreat, what was left of our forces.
What was left? What did you have left from your company?
I had about two platoons, half strength, and Wendell about had the same. And we didn't even get to bring in our conf groups because there was a unforeseen mess up on deployment. So, but they said that'll be remedied next year. But I had gotten these conf groups ready, built a whole Fallschirmjäger company, never really got to use it. So 30th Corps got down the line really unabated. And but it was a lot of fun. Had a good time. It's like herding cats, getting all these people to play, and so.
But you did it. Well, you didn't do it. You played in it. They did it.
I played in it. Yeah, I played in it. So.
How about your other friend? What's his name?
Oz?
Yeah. I haven't talked to him at all.
Oz disappeared on me, man.
Yeah, he's on Discord, but he never says anything.
Oz disappeared on me. I haven't heard. I kept, I just accept when people want to leave, I don't try and chase them down. Yeah. I hope he's doing okay. I'll probably give him a call by the end of the year to see how he's doing, but I haven't heard from him.
Huh.
I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah. Were you
Still got the women?
Yeah. Were you playing in the Pathfinder game with him at the same time? I don't think you guys played at the same time.
No, we didn't play at the same time.
Yeah, he had a few sessions. Then he disappeared.
I think I was working at that time, like an odd schedule. I try to keep in touch with the guys that I met in Jacksonville, but I need to. I've been meaning to go back over there and for a weekend, but it's just been difficult to. I'm not gonna lie. I've been enjoying my time here and hanging with all my friends, and just hang at the game store. It doesn't cost much to hang at the game store. So.
See a Shadow and Son. What do you say? Gotta run, guys. Great show as always. Shadow, he's over in California. Shadow and Son.
Have a good night, Shadow.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've subscribed to his channel.
Mm-hmm. Him and his son do some interesting little videos. It's fun to watch. Shadow and Son. Getting a little extra scraping done here.
Did you ever finish that South African force?
No, I just started them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
Last week. Got to get some more primer in before I can get to work on. They'll be done. I could do it within a couple of weeks and they'd be done, but I'm going to take till the end of the year to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully sooner than that, because I got to get paid. But yeah, they won't take long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing that at the same time as these, which is 2 other projects. French Guard Corps and a division of line. Same project, but I'm breaking it into 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all the cleanup right now.
So I'm still working on that collection of Germans
You
that I
are?
bought.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also working on my Team Yankee Modern stuff. And I'm really, when I got back, I got caught up in the market garden stuff. Really, I was like rushing to get stuff done, and I was getting burned out. And I kind of got burned myself out working on 15 millimeter.
Yep, happens.
And so I'm really getting back into my sci-fi 28s and historical 28s. Bought a bunch of cobblestone Back of Beyond Russian Civil War stuff. I'll probably end up doing the White Russians.
Yeah. Imperial.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I should say Imperial Russians instead of the, because I got banned on Facebook for saying White Russian. I'm serious. I got banned for like a week because I was talking to Wilhelm Dunkel in the what's that forum for Blood and Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Wilhelm Dunkel was posting in the Blood and Steel forum and posting about the Russian Civil War. And I told him I was building a force for Bolsheviks and white Russians, and the algorithm picked that up and banned me for 7 days. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. For I don't even need to go into why, but
yeah. I've had posts removed and stuff like that for stupid reasons. But usually they admit their mistake and put me back in there, the post.
Mm-hmm.
But not always. Usually it has to do with German uniforms or something, and it's all legit. It's not like, oh, we're going to talk Nazis and all this stuff,
Yeah.
But people don't get that. The algorithm picks it up, and then you send it in for review, and then usually they admit, oh, we're sorry. And it goes back up. But not always. I've had some posts disappear, which shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what's going on here?
So the admins were really apologetic because they had no
White Russians.
Nothing to do with that, and they said it's happened to other people in the forum talking about the same subject.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of didn't talk about it again.
I feel bad for you. Gosh.
But Damien McComber is still promoting the Blood and Steel, and then it was Blood and Valor is what the forum I was in, the Blood and Valor forum, the World War I stuff.
Yep. And
I bought Blood and Valor, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
It did not have Russians in it. Like, what? And anyway.
Careful.
So if anyone from Firelock's listening, I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah. Gosh, what's the matter with you?
And they're in Florida. They're in Orlando. I think they're in Orlando.
Yeah, I've spoken to them. Whatever. I can't remember his name. The guy with the beard. The main guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to see my friend Damian McComber and Edgar. But too, they're like the president and vice president of Jacksonville Garrison, and they came up with that Blood and Steel, Blut and Stahl, or I think it's what he calls it. I thought it was Blood and Iron, but
Blood and Iron sounds familiar. Maybe that's something else. What is that from? Blood
it sounds like
Iron.
Oak. I think it's Oak and Iron. They have the game they have is Oak and Iron.
Could be.
Yeah. But
Blood and Iron.
Blood and Steel, I think it's like 1860s to 1890s. I think it's that.
I don't know. Then they got Blood and Plunder. That's their main thing. Pirates.
I'm not sure. Is that still doing good? Still doing well?
As far as I know, yeah. It's their main game. Blood and Plunder and Oak and Iron.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about writing a rule set
You
in
are.
the next few years, because I'm really dissatisfied with a lot of the games that I've played. But that's just me, though.
It is. You're going to write a set of rules that's meant for one person. You.
No,
You're the only one
No.
that can play it.
no, it'll be. It won't be loaded down with charts, but it'll have. There's so many. I don't know. I can't get over how people love putting their hand into a little dice bag and pulling a dice out and saying, "Oh, it's my turn."
Yeah.
I just can't get over that. But I would rather have some kind of say in that process by rolling the dice.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me, though.
Yeah, it is. Different ways to do it. Get that effect.
I was in a discussion. Go ahead.
A lot of games do that sometimes with cards, and you draw a card, and that's what activates, or,
Mm-hmm.
that same concept. Like, Blue Shear does that. Another game that does that is Imp and Shot Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And those are cards. You draw cards, and it activates certain formations or levels of command, and that's who acts next, if you so choose. Another game, of course, is Musket and Tomahawk. That does that, too.
Can I
You're
ask you a question?
You can.
In Blucher and the other game you mentioned, are the cards like a set amount of cards that are there no matter how big the army is, or are they contingent on how many units you put in the field? Like, is there an association between how big your army is and how big the deck of cards is?
Yes, it's based on what units you have, and each one receives a card. There's also cards for random events, and some cards that represent a particular campaign, a particular battle. You might have certain random events that are more likely to occur, so you put them in the deck too, so they can have an effect and give you the feel of that actual battle. But yeah, it's based on what you have. That's what goes in there.
So is there a way to spam an army with bring lots of cheap troops and stack your deck and bring a lot of units? Because that's my main gripe with bolt action. It's like you can stack the dice by spamming a bunch of cheap units.
So that I don't remember. I never really played bolt action, but I had rules and I watched games. But how many dice do you put in the bag? What does that depend on?
I think you get a dice for every unit you bring.
Yeah.
So theoretically, armies that deal with lots of low cost units, like you could bring
Yeah, but once the unit's activated, it's done.
True.
It still only activates one time. It's basically when, in terms of, okay, green dice, that means I can pick any one of my unit to activate. And there's enough green in there to represent each of my units. So they only activate once, which you keep track of, but it's all a matter of timing. When does the opportunity kick in? That's okay.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But you don't have reaction or any way to react to, like, if your unit's annihilated.
Isn't there an order you can give a unit that allows them to react?
If you can, like, you can't, and now correct me, anyone out in the audience,
I don't know.
but my understanding is you can't do anything until you pull a dice. And if your opponent has 20 units and you have 8 because you're a German player, you bring high quality units with low quantity, and you're facing, let's say, a Russian player that's bringing very low quality units but spamming them everywhere, the chances are you're not going to go, because it's like going to be like a 3-to-1 chance that they're going to pull a green dice versus your now I understand what you're saying about the win, but if they're going first and they annihilate your unit, then that has eliminated your unit. You don't get to respond.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So that's not only right.
Yeah, that would suck. I don't know any way around that.
Well, that's why I always like disposable heroes. The way, you know, they roll 2d6, and your commander or your platoon commander, you get +1 or +2 based on his skill rating, and that's it. You know, and when he dies, you don't get more. If he dies in something, you don't get more any bonuses. It's just 2d6 up. You know.
Yeah.
There's-
The one other game I played that I think it does a good job at what it does is based on the command level and ability of your army, you will get a certain number of dice to roll. It's also based on the size of the battle. Like a platoon level might be 2d6, a company level might be 3d6, something like that. You roll that number of dice at the start of your turn, and it alternates back and forth. And the result of that represents how many orders you can issue that turn. Sometimes it's more orders than you need. Sometimes it's not enough. And these numbers decrease as your forces take losses in command as well as in units. And one of the orders you can give, because remember, it's I go, you go. One of the orders you can give is to reaction move or reaction fire. You put them on reaction mode. So when it's the other person's turn, you can interfere with his move with a reaction fire or a reaction move. It's awesome.
I love that. What game is this?
That is Battle Group.
Okay. Well, I have that game in storage. Just haven't got around to looking at it.
It's a good game. It's probably right up there with Flames of War in terms of enjoyment. I really like that game.
For a long time, I was just buying rules that came out that were popular, just to kind of collect them in case I got around to playing them. And that one's in my storage bin, all my books. So, and I have the supplements for that one, Eastern Front supplements. But I like that. I did not know it does that in that game.
Yeah, it's a good mechanic. That's how it represents command and control. And you never know if you're going to have enough orders to do what you want to do, or if you're going to have more than enough. You don't know, and you got the option to do reactions as well as assault move and fire, and all these options are available to you to do where you want during your turn on whatever units that haven't activated.
I like that. I think that a game, especially is a game that has ebb and flows, like platoon level, squad level, World War II. If you can't react on your player's turn, I think it's a deficient system. But that's just my opinion.
Well, you know what? This is a discussion I had a few times. And when you're designing a set of rules for a particular period of history, there's certain things you want to emphasize in your rule book. Things that need to be there because they are what makes that period or that genre what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, during the Napoleonic Wars, you want to make sure that you include rules for the approach when you do a melee. That approach and the resulting fire from the enemy, that all has to be, you have to have that. That's part of the period. You just don't move into contact. There's always the opportunity where the enemy can fire at the last second. Point blank fire, because that's the way it worked. That's what was done. And for something like World War II, one of those things is the reaction fire or the reaction move. You've got to have that to really accurately represent World War II combat. You need the ability to react because that's how it works. You know, that's a big part of battle results. And if you don't have that, like Flames of War doesn't have it, it assumes its existence in the mechanics of the gameplay. That's all right, but you know, you really want it because it gives the feel of what a battle would be like when you have that. Reaction fire. That's something that stands out for that period. Reaction fire.
I'll have to play this battle group game.
Yeah, it's good. Chris is in the chat. He's a big fan of it. Also, Dave here is in the chat. He says play Crossfire, and that's another one because that game is action reaction, action reaction. That's another one that's a good one. That does a good job at it.
I'll have to get that. I'll have to get that rule set. I think I watched a video about that game. I can't remember who made that game, but I'll thank you for mentioning Crossfire again. I had forgotten about that.
Artie Conliff is the author. You can still get it. Crossfire. The only drawback to Crossfire, and it's a wonderful game to play, its focus is on infantry, which is okay. That's the focus. That's not the problem. It really skirts over the tank and the AFV side of things. It really does. Very simplistic. That's probably the only thing. It's a little bit simple there. But as far as the infantry squads moving around on the table and reacting by the enemy and the dice mechanic is simple and great, it's fun, that's a great game and it's worth playing. You don't use tape measures. You move from terrain piece to terrain piece, and anywhere along that route, if the enemy can see you and can react, they can interrupt your turn and catch you in the open.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool game.
I like it.
Talking about rules today.
Yeah.
We keep talking about this stuff. You're going to have a stack of rules you're going to have to play. It's going to be a lot of good ones.
Well, the local game shop, their main games are 40K, Necromunda,
Bolt Action.
Team Yankee, Flames of War, and they skirt around a little bit with Bolt Action, but they don't have a lot of large they have a retail section for it, and they do sell Battle Group in the same section as Bolt Action. So that's the main miniature game. They do sell lots of D&D and Pathfinder stuff.
Of course. Yeah. What's the name of it? I forgot the name of the rules already. Battle Group. Battle Group is a good one. Let me see here. Let me read the chat here. Chris says the best World War II rules is Battle Group. Walkabout Games. He says better than Battle Group Crossfire. Battle Group Crossfire. Battle Group What's Battle Group Crossfire? Better than Battle Group Crossfire. Seen Dave. Dave says play Crossfire with a big smile. Lots of great vids on here about Crossfire. No tape measure needed. James says of armies and hordes, use terrain-based movement too. My new book has no tape measure. Laughing out loud says Chris. Your new book? Is Chris writing rules?
So I agree that Flames of War and Team Yankee have too many tanks, and I'll tell you one thing. I recently put out a public service announcement of interest in the local forum. I put up some pictures of the Korean War, and I was open to doing any scale, but I know Bolt Action has typically either 15 millimeter or 28. I know that do both. And then I also put up another bulletin about 1982 Operation Peace for Galilee, Israeli intervention in Israel, or Israeli intervention into Lebanon. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I said in both things is historical lists. Historical lists. Because I'm trying to get people weaned off this spamming tank stuff. And I love tanks, but people spam tanks and I hate going to see these Team Yankee games and there's just parking lots, just literal parking lots of everything. And I'm trying to encourage some people to step outside their comfort zone and do a historical list. And there's not many takers for that. I think people have been effectively marketed in their brains that I'm going to exploit this rule set and its point system to the max and bring whatever I want to bring if it's allowed in the rules. So not much luck on getting people into these games. I don't even touch the World War II because the store handles the World War II stuff. I don't want to encroach on their territory. So I try to do stuff that trying to encourage the areas where the store's not. Mm-hmm. James.
What do you say?
He said the lions of Damascus will triumph, off-key tooting. Walkabout Games. Who is Walkabout Games?
That's Chris. Chris Long.
Chris, hey, I am seeing that, and yes, it's so hard to get people to get rid of these parking lots. I have battalions surrounding me right now on the floor, but I'm not going to bring all this stuff to one game, James, I'm the Syrians too when I play, don't worry. But I do have Israelis as well. Got to have someone to shoot at. I also built Jordanians too. Jordanians, Syrians, Iraqis, and Israelis. That's my three main, and Russians. That's my five factions I'm building.
Unveil. They took something out of 4th edition, Flames of War. I know wasn't Bail. What was the other one? There was bailing, which happens when you get shot at, right? And then there was one where you get stuck.
Cross checks.
Yeah, that's in 4th edition. But what was it in 3rd edition?
Yeah, they don't call it getting stuck anymore, or like bogged down. They call it
bogged.
Cross check.
That's what it was. Yeah. Bogged down checks.
I like bog checks because
so do I.
That makes it just doesn't make any sense to say, well, I'm gonna roll across this swamp. Oh, I made it past the swamp. No, you didn't make it. I remember when they had wide tracks too, like tanks that actually had wide tracks had a better chance of getting through these obstacles.
Yep.
So.
Then there was the more German ones that are very susceptible to breaking down or bogging.
Yeah. Yeah. James, I appreciate your support for the cause there.
Drive them into the sea. Inshallah.
I'm going to show y'all something. But hold on. I recommend this series of books. I have been buying a lot of these books. Hold on just a second.
Yeah, Battle Group kind of limits how many tanks you put on there. It looks realistic. It plays much more realistic because of that. And you don't have to like keep them close together. They can go anywhere they want, really. You know, you buy a 3 tanks, you know, they're anywhere. That just feels so right. That's awesome about Battle Group.
Okay.
Let's see what's going
All right.
on.
My first set of books I recommend from this publisher, let's see here. It's called Helion Company Limited. This is one of their books here. Can you see that right there?
Yep.
They have a whole series on Middle East at war, Africa at war, Asia at war, and if you like these esoteric, conflicts, they are fantastic. I would say that they are better than Osprey books, hands down by 300%.
Wow.
I've been buying them off eBay. I've been buying them off of primarily eBay right now, but I found that the company is in Britain. If you can see that one, that's the second volume for that series. And there's another one called Syrian Armor at War, and it's a 2-part series. And this company is called, it's Abrams Squad References. It's nothing but pictures of the Syrian Civil War from 2011 to 2017. And it's a fantastic picture series. And I have a lot of these pictures on my hard drive from when I was following the war, but it's always nice to have it in book form. And I totally recommend these books. One, the Syrian Armor at War series is from Abrams Squad References, and look up Tom Cooper and Ephraim Sandler from the Mideast at War series by Helion and Company. Great series of books. They usually run anywhere from $20 to $35 a piece.
Not bad. Byron's practicing for his own channel. He's got stuff coming. He's got stuff coming. You're gonna do all of it now, and you want to have no content to put in the future. You already did it all.
Nah.
Got a whole backs.
I got plenty of book reviews.
You do.
But that's a good idea too. Is doing little book reviews for this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Flip through.
I just wanted to share this with the little audience.
Flip through. Da, 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 da. You're going to hold down the fort for a couple minutes because I have to go downstairs and heat up another coffee.
Okay.
All right. So, give me a
Hey,
moment.
Chris. The store I hang at, the owner of the store that runs the Team Yankee and Flames of War, they are really big on situational scenarios that use non-combat units like engineers and things like that, bridging units, the logistical units. They're really big on that stuff. It's amazing, and they'll go get stuff 3D printed to do the scenario. Like they'll build the whole unit. James, explain that last comment, please. I'm not understanding the reference to the Franco-Prussian War. Are they running away? Is this where the French got the runaway thing? Yeah, it's amazing to see the bridging units, and amazing to see like the mine or artillery deployed mine stuff, and clearing minefields, and all that kind of stuff that basically Jake Brandenburg, the owner of the store, was kind of going over in Team Yankee, how Team Yankee is neutered the NATO players' ability to attrit and through engineering units and other means, direct the Warsaw Pact players into a kill zone, because the table size is 6x4, so the NATO players don't have oh yes, James, that yeah. Yes, absolutely. James says the Israelis were more independent, whereas for cultural reasons, many tankers on the Syrian side wouldn't act with that in order. Yes, I agree. Yeah, Chris. James, thank you for that comment. Yeah, I thank you for explaining that, James. Chris, yeah, I'm not ex-military, but I appreciate the nuance, because I'm very scenario driven. Like, they like taking certain objectives within a certain amount of turns, and I'm not talking about a random place on the map. It has to be a very functional place. Like, let's take this town, or take these oil fields, or take this ridge, or whatever. Yeah, one of the fascinating things is I love the Lebanese Civil War period, the 82 intervention, because of all the factions involved. But I also love to read about, as information emerges, about the Syrian Civil War. And I'm trying to get people out to think outside the box here locally, that they could build all kinds of units for there's like 5 or 6 major factions. In fact, one of the main I'm building a Turkish force, a Syrian force, Syrian Arab Army, Free Syrian Arab Army, or the Free Syrian Army, Phalangist, the Phalangist for Lebanon, but Southern Lebanese. I mean, there's all these different factions that you could build and get creative with your modeling, but yet people don't want to do that these days. They just want to look at the chart and say, that's what I can build. I can bring all these, one of the units that Team Yankee produces it for the Israelis that really pisses me off is the Pariah. I believe it's an M60 where the missiles pop up. I see that thing spanned a lot. Like, what? That I'm not saying it didn't exist, but I hardly ever see that in real life. Yeah, exactly, James. They swap sides and fought each other. And I think that makes for a colorful game, colorful scenarios, a lot you can do. And it's sad that in modern times, at least in the recent years, that kind of desire to, especially with all the information available, the desire to gain these areas, these time periods, is hardly not existent. So now, James, this is something. Chris, that is amazing. You can field 3 factions. I want to know, what factions are you fielding in 28mm in the Syrian Civil War, and what miniatures are you using? I want to know what tanks you're using, what vehicles you're using, what scale, what companies, what miniatures. The English Civil War and Italian Civil War. I'm learning about the English Civil War through my friend Wendell. The Italian Wars of Succession, is that James, is that what you're referring to? My friend Wendell is like the guru on the Renaissance and medieval periods and classical stuff. So I kind of rely on him but he's just like, he's very, very knowledgeable about all periods here. James, I agree. Those are Syrian Arab Army, Kurd, so many things. What miniatures are you using? What kits are you using? I'm very interested to know I'm building stuff for that too. I know it's kind of too soon, but I'm also building stuff for the modern Russo-Ukraine war. But we're not going to talk about that. Oh, the Habsburgs. Gotta get me some Habsburgs. With their double-headed eagles. I love them. I'm collecting as much information on the modern conflict. I know it's a very touchy subject right now, but I'm collecting a lot of stuff. Kyrgyzstan has got a lot of stuff for that right now. They're coming out with 28s for Russian and Ukrainian. modernmini3d.com. I'm gonna look that up right now. Hold on just a second. Modern Mini 3D. Modern Mini 3D.com. Let me look here. All prices are in Canadian dollars. This is your son's website, and he builds these miniatures?
Oh, he's got some good stuff. He sent me some samples, 15 mil, 10 mil, some Ancients, World War II Fallschirmjäger, and a vehicle. And they're fantastic stuff. And I got them like in a week.
Ultra modern miniatures, Spetsnaz, modern hostage set, strike team, insurgent special forces bundle. Hey, look at this. Oh, cool. What's the insurgent special forces bundle supposed to simulate here? Looks like they got American equipment with RPGs and yeah, I've been collecting Empress miniatures, modern Russians, for mine, but also Kyrgyzstan has got some modern 28s and modern 15s he's coming out with. I talked to him the other day in an email, and he said he's focusing on the current conflict, pumping stuff out for that. Yeah, James. It's the latest thing with the Azerbaijani war in Armenia. I think this was a kind of a game changer, especially with the drones and stuff. It's going to be interesting how that stuff's interpreted in rule sets to come in the future. Chat's getting lively, Carter.
Yeah, it is. Let me look at something here.
Thank you for sharing the 3D or the miniature page there thing. What is it called?
Modern Mini 3D.
Modern Mini 3D, yeah.
That's Chris's page. Or his son.
Yeah, he was telling me that it's his son's page, and I'm gonna bookmark it. And looks like Cyberpunk biker gang, cool.
Yep, he's got a lot of good stuff. You'd like it.
Elite Venom Trooper. Ooh, a little tank, a Venom tank. I'm gonna get some. Yeah. Refueled Apocalypse. Let's look at that. Oh, cool. Trucks. I like trucks. Let's see here. More fantasy. More sci-fi. Let's go more modern. Let's see what else we got. Strike Team Secure, Modern Hostage Set, Specialized GRU, of course, we're going to get that. Russian military gas Tiger trucks. Chris, are you aware, and this is for anyone in the chat, are you guys aware that Toyota, it's a model company, makes a plastic T90A kit, and the kit comes with a 1/40th scale gas Tiger truck. There's also, let me bring it up here, a new kit out from Bronco, I believe, 148. I will verify that. But it comes with the two Ural trucks. One's a fuel truck and one's a cargo troop carrier. 2-in-1 kit. 2 model kits in one. Well, I'll put it in the chat. Hold on just a second.
Can you put links in there?
Yeah, I had to get one. There it is. That's the Toyota kit.
Yeah, you got it. Scale mates.
I'll show you the other trucks. Let's see here.
Cripes. Can someone link James? My phone won't let me.
Here is the I just put a link in for the Ural truck kits, them 1/48 scale.
Hands shaking like from yard work. link sharing today. I know what I'm buying after dinner. Ching.
You like those, Chris? I bought 3 kits of that Kitty Hawk kit. I've got 6 trucks, and I plan to do a convoy. 3 tanker trucks and 3 cargo trucks, and then scenario would be like the 2 convoys that's got escorted by Tiger trucks and maybe a Tiger tank. Not a Tiger tank, but a T-90 tank and Tiger gas trucks, and maybe the Ukrainians have to ambush them or something. Or you could do it for Syria with the Russian intervention into Syria in 2017. Anyway.
Do you do tree men?
I don't do treatment.
Does Chris Walkabout, you got fantasy line of figures, don't you? I think you do. I think he does. He's got a lot of stuff on there. I made a tree man out of limbs, sticks.
Speaking of James, speaking of VDV, Battlefront Christmas time's coming out with the Red Dawn supplement expansion for Team Yankee, and they're releasing plastic VDV forces for that campaign, fictional campaign, of course.
Shite. Sings the VDV song.
James.
The kid does that. What kind of phone are you using, Chris? If it's Galaxy, just hold down with your finger and it'll pop up. It'll say post link or paste.
I'll tell you right now, I talked to the guy at Kyrgyzstan last week. I emailed him. I said, listen, because I ordered some stuff for Wendell as payment for him helping me out on painting. And I ordered a bunch of Vietnam stuff for Wendell. And I asked him, I said, hey, when are you going to be done with those M48s? I know you got them. And he's like, they're almost done, but they ain't gonna be released right now. I was like, come on, man. Can you like, he's like, I started naming off a bunch of Cold War tanks I want him to make. And he's like, I'm gonna be making that one, and that one. But it's on the back burner now because Ukraine's taking up all of my time. So I'm interested to get some of his modern Ukrainian stuff, and he's got a 28 millimeter BTR 80A with the 20 millimeter gun on it. So check that out.
Many of them are these. There's a lot of limber riders. Damn. You can always do proxy imaginations. Steppenland versus the Fistoration. 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 What are you talking about, James?
Yeah, you could do that. I don't have much brain power to come up with new stuff like that.
Me neither. My brain is shot.
I just don't have the patience to come up with. Like, I'm already pushing it with come up with stuff for sci-fi.
Xfinity. Okay, random reading. I'm going to read something randomly from one of my books. This one is Unearthed Arcana. Here we go. Give me a page number from 1 to 120. Byron?
Sir?
Give me a page number from 1 to 120.
84.
84. Ooh, this book smells good. Ah, different. Page 84. Oh boy. Give me a number from 1 to 2.
1.
Okay, give me a number from 1 to 2 again.
1.
Okay, we're going to roll on random treasure determination. Magic items, table 3, revised table. And this is a D100 roll. I'm going to make a D100 roll because it's my turn to do something. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Byron enters the cavern and he sees this great chest in front of him. He quickly moves forward without paying heed to any traps. He clicks it open. What does he find? Gonna roll again. Hold on. It seems to be some type of ring. Something you'd put on your finger. Let's see what it is. Okay, table 3C I have to go to. 3C. Okay, another roll. Here we go. D100. Oh boy. Does he slip the ring on? We'll find out. First, I'm going to find out what kind of ring he finds in this little chest. You see this gold ring in front of you. And as you look closely at it, it looks like it has some kind of swirls mixed into its texture, like almost like waves or something of that nature. As you hold it to the light and the torch flickers from it, you can see that it gives off a slight blue tint. This golden, otherwise golden ring. What do you do? What do you do, Ramirez?
I touch it and discharge the energy from it.
Do you slip the ring on your finger?
No, I touch it first.
It's in your hand, so you're already touching it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's tattoo. Of course, I'm gonna put it on my finger.
You slip on the ring. Nothing seems to happen, but you feel a strange energy around your hand area. Suddenly, images begin to fill your mind. You see a vast sea, water, ocean, and suddenly you feel yourself being tugged and pulled underneath the waves that splash against your face, and all is black, all is dark. You open your eyes under this water, this murkiness, and you notice something. You can breathe. You feel very comfortable as you begin to fall deeper and deeper into the abyss of this black, watery landscape.
Nice. Reminded me of a scene from Highlander.
Yeah. Actually, I made that last part up because it's actually a ring of swimming. This will help you swim from the spell. But what I did is I changed it to a water breathing. So
Oh, cool.
you got yourself a ring of water breathing.
That's cool.
That's what we found in the treasure. There we go. That was from Unearthed Arcana. Random treasure generator. Table. Campaigns in Subia. Okay, let's do a little more scraping. So I rest my neck. That's a lot of rolling. Grapes.
Have you looked at the 40K RPG?
Only the title. I never actually read it. I don't have it.
Neither have I.
It's one of those things that I would like to play. Would be fun, but it's like 40K is a miniatures game. I love playing battles in it, but getting into the characters and stuff would be different.
Sure.
I'm quite satisfied painting and moving guys around, but you know, who knows?
James, that's heresy. Don't talk about that.
What did he do? What did he do?
Don't
James,
talk about that.
what did he do now?
We will not discuss that. I don't acknowledge that movie's existence.
Planeteized. Terrible. Hey, I did this guy already. What's going on here? Excellent. I got some coffee here.
I heard about trying out Mantic Firefight, and I've heard us talk about Grim Dark Future and their equivalent to Kill Team.
Yeah. I'm gonna try them both out.
I'm trying to find someone to try them out here with, but no one seems to want to do it so long. But I'm trying. Maybe when I get the second army build, it'd be easier.
It's a good game. It's got depth to it, for sure. But you can play this very casually. This is a game you could play, Firefight especially. You could play in under an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You play multiple sessions, you know, boom, boom, boom. But it's a great system. It's fun. I haven't played it yet, so hold that thought. But in my opinion, after reading it and watching battle reports, and I got a gist of the game, yeah, this is right up my alley. I'd really enjoy this, and I can't wait to try it, honestly. 40K is a bit much, sadly.
I was talking with someone about that today. I like the way you described 9th edition 40K. And as someone who's never played 40K until last year or this year, the way you described it to me, it's very overwhelming to someone who's new like me, because there's so many layers of things I have to keep track of, and I don't know how to. I can't do that. Like, I don't want to do that. You know. That's the number one. I don't want to do that.
layers. That's the key word. Layers of detail.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me wrong. It's a great game, but you have to play it regular.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to really be up on your army and your opposing armies too if you're going to play effectively and build lists that are going to be, at least a challenge to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot to ask for considering how many layers you have to dig through and keep track of. But again, I'm a casual gamer. So
Yeah, me too.
8 hours to play a 4-hour game or 8 hours to play a 2-hour game, that's a bit much.
Hey, James. I forgive you.
I'm excited to play some Kings of War.
I haven't. I'm aware of the miniature line, or the. Is it a rule set first, or is it a miniature line first, then the rules?
Well, it's definitely both.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they make their own setting and line of figures to go along with it for all the armies, and of course, they've got a full-on rules, which are essentially just one book currently. You only need the one book, and you get all the armies and rules and everything. That's pretty good. It's a big tome, but plays a lot like a DBX game, or bases of models. You don't use casualty. You don't do casualty removal with models. They take a certain number of hits until they're destroyed, essentially.
Oh, okay.
So you can build little dioramas for your units. Usually they're large trays that you move around.
That's cool.
And it plays, in my opinion, similar to what not Firefight, but Grimdark Future does.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of rolling to hit and then rolling to wound and then rolling to save, it's just roll to hit and roll to save. Which is effectively what Firefight and Grimdark do. They build the roll to wound into your other rolls and any special rules that apply to your attack, instead of rolling more dice. I like that. I like that
James.
because, one more thing, I like that because when I play 40K, when I do play 40K, it has always been my bane that I'll roll like 30 dice to hit, 15 will hit, and now I got to roll to wound, and that's the killer. When you're rolling to wound, strength versus toughness, because for me it's usually Space Marines or something going against Death Company or some form of chaos that are really freaking tough. So I end up getting maybe 3 hits, and he's got to make 3 saves. He gets them all. That's my luck. Out of 30 shots. I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
One more. Not do game or not. Wait a minute. Not Dog Man. How you doing, Not Dog Man? Just wanted to throw that out there. Go ahead, James or Byron. Get my names messed up. Your turn.
Well, Dogman.
Yes.
Interesting name for not Dogman.
Yeah.
I was going to say, James says it's DBA with a little more personality, the Kings of War game. I believe that's what you start making reference to.
James is helping me build my armies, actually.
Oh, he is?
Yep.
What's he building for you?
Well, I don't know what he's building for me, but he's sending along a little bit of help to do it. So
Okay.
it's up to me.
Kinda like gifts, things like that?
Yeah. It's up to me to put it all together. And I'm thinking, I'm getting through it. There's a lot. I'll put it this way, you can't go wrong. Because all their armies and factions are cool.
Mm-hmm.
The models are cool. And I'd play them all. But I am leaning towards not Chaos Dwarfs. What are they called? Abyssal Dwarves. Possibly elves. There's a lot of different things that I wouldn't regret.
I gotta go get the Grim Dark book printed out
Yep, I did.
at Kinko. I like PDFs, but I just don't like PDFs.
I hate them. I got a whole brand new thing of ink just to print it out. It's not like 30 pages. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'd rather just go print it at Kinko's
Yeah, I could do that too.
or FedEx or someplace like that.
It plays a lot like, I don't know if you're familiar with older versions of 40K, but
I'm not, but I've heard
Yeah.
that analogy before. It plays more like 3rd edition.
any previous edition. Yeah, like 3rd edition, which is my favorite. But again, it's not using a wound roll. And 3rd edition had wound roll. 40K's always
I was
had a
too
wound
young. I was too young to play in 3rd edition.
roll.
No, I'm
Diapers.
not really. I just didn't have a job. When was 3rd edition? Like 2000?
Yeah, early 2000s. Wow.
I didn't get into wargaming until 2006. So
Boy, it seemed like it's older than that. So it must have
I
been the
know.
90s. The 2nd edition. Yeah, 90s was the 2nd edition, first boxed version of it. And the 1st edition was that freaking book, and that was around forever.
Rogue Trader, right?
Yeah, that was probably in the late 80s.
And Rogue Trader was more like quad stuff, like Kill Team is, right?
I don't know. You could play big battles. I never played it. I had the book and I toyed around with it a little bit, but it was just a rule book. It wasn't what it was to become.
Gotcha. I only gotten into 40K in the last 2 years, 3 years. 8th edition, bought the 8th edition codex for Imperial Guard. That's when I got it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty new.
Yeah. So I'm a young pup in that universe.
I think when they originally designed this game, we're talking 1st, 2nd, and 3rd edition, it played more like a war game, like a traditional war game. If you're, like a historical game. That's what I'm trying to say. It was more of a. It still had that casual game feel to it. It was about the narrative and the storytelling and things like that. That's what it's focused. It's never intended to be a competitive game, but it became that. And I don't know, it was a different beast back then, and I enjoyed it. Now it's a little bit too much army list rules, competitive. Even though you can play narratively. I don't know. I want to play some 3rd edition again, actually. Even
Post a
2nd.
battle report.
Yeah.
Post a battle report.
When I get around to it, I'm gonna play some 2nd and 3rd edition stuff. Because I think it would be really fun.
I have in my collection somewhere. I think 3rd edition. I think it's 3rd edition, maybe 2nd edition. Necrons and Imperial Guard. So I wanted to take it back just in case, maybe see, how easier it was, or. But I think the Grimdark feature is going to be my solution to enjoying this genre.
Yeah, you'll like it. It's simple game mechanics, but what they do is, every army or every faction has like 1 or 2 pages of army lists, and it looks dense. It's all just numbers and charts and tables. At the top, it tells you what units you can buy, and it gives their standard kit, like their weapon and their quality roll, which is your chance of hitting on a d6, their defense roll, which is their chance of nullifying a hit on them, like a savings throw. And then it's got any special weapon code, like a weapon might have a special ability such as rending, which means the opponent can only defend against a hit from this weapon on a natural roll of 6. There's lots of little special rules that are so simple, like that. So you can represent things like Necrons being able to reanimate after going down. You could represent that easy. You could represent the rending hits, for example, that would be in 40k in some way. And all these special abilities are associated. There's Space Marines have like a medical ability, which allows them to essentially reanimate a guy that went down. You know, it's what a medical a medicate, what are they called? Apothecary Space Marine would do, keeping guys alive. And all these little special abilities combined with your weapons you have, and you can upgrade them. You know, the range might be different on different weapons. The number of shots might be different for different weapons. It might have rending. It might have some other special ability. And there's loads of little special abilities that you can have on your units and their weapons. That's what makes it interesting. And it's only on like 1 or 2 sheets of paper that you get these army lists. And they have factions for everything from Star Wars Rebellion models all through 40K's different factions. They just rename them, but obviously they're taking the 40K models and they're statting them for Grimdark. So you're getting the same feel, you know?
That's cool.
Like for my army, the Dark Angels, they have their own list. It's called the Dark Brothers. And they're essentially the Dark Angel Space Marines. They also have the Dark Prime Brothers, which are the Primaris Marines. They distinguish between them. And yeah, that's the game. You set it up and play it the same kind of way. I think there's more strategy involved. It's not an I go, you go system. It's more like we take turns. We roll initiative at the beginning, and whoever has initiative or chooses to have initiative decides to keep it and choose one unit to activate first. When he's done activating it, the opponent chooses a unit and activates a unit. And this goes back and forth for the rest of the turn until everything's activated. Very cool.
I like it.
And the Kill Team version, Firefight, is essentially the same thing, only it's geared towards a handful of models on each side, so you can really play a small skirmish that's pretty interesting and exciting. You know, models can end up going down when they're hit. You lay the model on its side, and it has to spend an action standing up and all this stuff. So it's got that to it as well. Very cool. I think
it's been my latest purchase. I got this for $20.
Oh boy.
So
What is that? What codex?
30K.
Oh, 30K. That's what it is. $20.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't want it.
Yeah. I got it because it had a lot of lore stuff in it.
Yeah.
You know, it's another distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I like lore stuff. You know?
Yep. Well, that's good
So I
enough
figured
reason to
you
buy it.
Yeah, I figured it'd be good for that. And the artwork and the miniatures in it, the painting of everything looked really good. Anyway, Curtis, I gotta get off here. I'm about to pass out.
Okay, Byron. I'll be on all week, the usual time. You can join me anytime you want, my friend.
Okay, yeah. Maybe maybe I'll get in 30K later on. I don't know if they come out with the Solar Auxiliary of the basically the Imperial Guard. Might get into that, but we'll see.
Awesome.
Once got to finish my current projects. So
yes, stay focused.
yeah, y'all have a good night. Everyone in the chat, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all later.
Take care, Byron. Toodaloos.